Hi, I'm Justin Moore, and this is Mel Moore, and we are the pastors of Peace Hill Christian Fellowship in Charles City, Virginia. And we're here to tell you about a special effort that our church is doing to help our county and community during this season of the year.
So, if you're not aware, Charles City County is a rural and a poor county. And prior to very recently, the Charles City school system would charge students for lunch, and if they couldn't pay, they would hold their debt on account. And if that student still had lunch debt at the time of graduation, the school system would not allow them to walk or participate in graduation. They'd still receive their certificate, but they couldn't actually be part of the ceremony. So these students were being punished for something that's not their fault and that is also not wrong. They simply don't have money to eat while they're at school. That we became aware of that a couple of years ago and have been working to try and see if we could pay off that student lunch debt. And the debt itself is $5,867. The good news is that the Charles City School District applied for federal grant, and now they are no longer collecting lunch debt. Lunch is free for those students. So that $5,867 is the cap of what would need to be paid off to set those students free from that debt.
So what we're going to do as a church, and anyone else who also wants to contribute and be part of this, is we are going to pay off that entire debt. We're going to do it by Easter. We'll probably actually give them the check the week after Easter. And so we believe that this is the right thing to do, and it is being part of our imitation of God in how God liberates people, sets people free, and undoes unfair and unjust situations. So our church has set aside funds to do this, but we would also love to have contributions from anyone who can. And we're going to put in the description of this video an address where you can send checks and put school lunch debt on the memo line. You can also give online through our page on Tithely, and I'm going to put the link for that in the description of this video. And you can just choose on the drop-down menu, School Lunch Debt Relief. And we're excited. We think this is going to be helpful to a lot of people, and it's just another way that we can pass on some of the blessings and grace and generosity that God has shown to us, and we can pay that forward. And if we get more money than the $5,867, then we're just going to start working on another school systems debt, probably one of our neighboring counties. So anything that you give will only go towards school lunch debt payoff. That's the only cause that we're going to use it for.
Mm-hmm. And not everybody is able to contribute financially, and we understand that and don't want to leave out folks who want to participate but can't in that particular way. One thing I do want to mention is that if you've got little kids, if you want to put a jar, that's our dog, if you want to put a jar in a central area in the house and they find change lying around, they can stick that in the jar and participate that way. But also, school children everywhere, and in Charles City particularly, really could use prayer. They could use prayer for the fact that they are graduating some of them into a still pandemic world. They could use prayer over these systems that are unjust and put us in situations where we're being shamed and ostracized for poverty that is systemic and that is not necessarily fixable overnight. And in addition to prayer, research is really helpful. We know Charles City that has the student lunch debt. There's other places that do. So look around at the school systems around you. Are there students who are being held back or shamed in some way for something that they can't control, that maybe you can begin to advocate for them, or research and send us that information should we be able to pass on any additional money. But there are dozens of ways to participate, not just financially, and we would love to see folks be able to come together on this one.
So thank you. We hope that this season of Lent leading up to Easter is a time for you of reflecting on how much God loves you and how much God loves the world and what He is doing to heal the world. Thank you.